Hello friends, it's Indiana Homes and Lizzie, and here we are on a beautiful January winter afternoon at Crystal Cove State Park in the city of Newport Beach in Southern California. And today we're going to take you on a little hike along the coast down to Crystal Cove. So come join us. So here on the trail we've got beach access to the right, vistas to the right, beach access to the left, as well as restrooms. And as you can see, we've got the ocean straight ahead of us out there. I don't know if you can see that, I'll zoom in. And you see a little sliver of water out that way. We're gonna walk down to the tide pools. And so we do have a little bit of neighborhood, some fancy houses up here on the right. And the path that we're on is actually an asphalt path, not my favorite. I'd prefer to be on dirt or gravel or something. But this is good for anybody who wants very, very easy hiking, really just walking to get your steps in. This is a beautiful area to do it in. There's a nice cool breeze today. It is an unusually warm winter afternoon here in Southern California. It is 78, 79 degrees throughout most of Southern California. But over here, right on the coast, right overlooking the water, you get a nice cool breeze and it feels substantially cooler. So that's something that you might want to take into consideration too, depending on the temperature of the day that you're coming down, whether you want to come down to the coast where it's cooler, or if it is a cool day, maybe this is not the best place to go unless you prepare and you bundle up and stuff. But it is gorgeous out here at the moment. And it looks like we're starting our descent down to the water level. Okay, we've come to the end of the asphalt trail, and now we are walking out onto a little seating area and a little point of interest. And this says, importance of the underwater park. Below the crashing waves, it says, below the crashing waves, offshore lies a fragile underwater world where schools of fish swim, marine mammals hunt, and invertebrates feed. Dolphins can be seen frolicking in the surf. Gray whales, on their epic annual migration, swim along the coast from December to April. So it's possible we could see some whales out here if we look really closely. I do see a lot of boats out there. I can't tell if they're fishing boats or if they're whale watching boats. Looking down here at the coast, and I must say it is kind of beautiful, isn't it? Peaceful. Remember, this is January 27th, 2024, and it is a warm and beautiful winter day. Sorry for all you folks that are out there in the freezing cold, snowed in back east and in the Midwest. I understand that happens. But we're lucky out here on the West Coast. I guess this is why so many people want to come and live in California, and why our real estate prices are so high, because this weather, the weather is just spectacular. Wow. Lizzie's over here chilling out, dreaming of lunch. It's well after lunchtime right now, but we haven't yet had lunch because we had a somewhat late breakfast. But yeah, this is beautiful. So I think we're going to walk down to the sand now and walk around down there a little bit. So come on along with us. Crystal Cove is a California state park. So this goes for miles in each direction, and it goes up to and even a little bit across from Pacific Coast Highway, and then all the way to the water line. Yeah, this is pretty steep. You guys probably cannot get the true view of how steep this is, because the camera always seems to flatten everything out, but this is pretty challengingly steep for my knees, I gotta say. It says Crystal Cove is a state marine conservation area. Absolutely no collecting of animals, shells, rocks, tide pools, nothing. You can't pick up any starfish or crabs or any kind of creatures. and take them with you. And really, you shouldn't even touch them, because we want to leave everything in its natural habitat, in its natural state, without the interruption of human interference. The sound of the ocean is fantastic. Now I kind of wish I had my walking sticks, because these old knees of mine are really working hard to keep me upright, and they do not like it. How you doing there, Lizzie?
I'm good.
You can see behind us. This kind of gives you an idea of how steep that road is. Look at that road. This is an asphalt trail going down to the beach. Is almost up to my head there, almost over my hat, because that's how steep it is. And we have to be careful we don't slip on this sand and take a tumble. But I think we're going to make it. Now, if I can hopefully walk on the sand without falling over, that would be great. Oh gosh, it's gorgeous. This is why we live in California, right here, walking out on this beautiful beach in the middle of winter. Yes, this is lovely. It's like a mini vacation. You take a morning or an afternoon, and you come out here on one of our Southern California beaches, and you just feel like you're on a little bit of a vacation in some foreign beautiful land, but you're just here in California. Just really like an hour from downtown Los Angeles, about an hour and a half from San Diego, maybe not even an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 15 minutes from San Diego. Just kind of sort of in the middle here. A little further north than south. Probably Laguna Beach, further down the coast, would be maybe only an hour from San Diego. We're a little bit closer to LA than we are San Diego here in Crystal Cove, because technically this is still Newport Beach, although the farthest southern corner of Newport Beach for sure. Look at that, folks. That's gorgeous. So there's some tide pools up here, but I don't know if we're going to be able to walk around them too much, because the wave action's coming in, and it looks like it's covering most of them. There are a lot more tide pools, as well as some cool historical points of interest, like cabins that were built by the movie industry to house movie stars and movie crew that filmed down here a lot in the 1920s and 30s, and maybe even up through the 1940s, that still exist and can actually be rented out, and you can stay in them further south down Crystal Cove at the southernmost parking entrance. And they have restaurants on the beach and everything. It's really cool. If you want to see more about that, along with an extensive amount of tide pools and sea creatures, look at my other video on Crystal Cove that I posted prior to this one a few months back. That's a really beautiful area that we filmed, walked, and ate at as well. Looks like we've got some scuba divers over here on the left that look like they just came in from scuba diving. This would be a fantastic area to dive, because being a natural preserve, not just here on the shore, but underwater, you're going to have kelp beds and lots of fish and sea mammals to check out and swim around. Be quite nice. There we are. Let you guys see some of this more up close. Wow, it's so great. We got fishermen out here today, scuba divers, sunbathers, families, all kinds of people out here enjoying Crystal Cove State Park and Beach. But really, when you look around, not that many folks, not that many people out here. Lots of females, lots of women out here today. I'm guessing they all have the day off from work, and maybe they're students. Maybe they're enjoying this beautiful winter day, especially if they've come here from back east or in the Midwest, where they're used to experiencing cold winters. This would be a treat for them. You can see there's a very steep stairway over here that comes down from probably one of the other parking areas up on Pacific Coast Highway. Take a look at this. We'll walk over to it a little bit, and then we'll walk over to the tide pools. Oh wow. Yeah, any of these beach areas that have stairways are usually pretty steep, and this one looks like it starts out pretty level, but then it gets a little steep coming down. You can see some folks coming down right now. Yeah, that's a good knee cracker. There's a beautiful sailing boat out there, a race boat really. Out there you can see also, I don't know if you can see, it's pretty far with this wide angle lens, but Catalina's out there, shrouded in fog a little bit, but you can see the top ridges of it. And now we are walking up onto the tide pools and some of the rock formations sticking up here out the sand. Just gorgeous stuff. I love all these rock formations. It's just so great. Looks like the tide pools are pretty much underwater. I'm about 20 yards away from the actual tide pools. You can see where those people are standing there. We'll see how close we can get without getting too wet, because I don't really want to get my hiking boots wet here. Today started out with the idea of going on a hike in another area at Bomber Trail, but it turned out that that was closed by the city of Irvine for, I don't know, weather conditions or something. I guess they thought it was going to rain. So we went into Plan B mode, which was to come over here. So you can see a little bit of the tide pools, but we can't really get close enough or close in enough to see any of the sea life, or we're going to get really wet. But this gives you a little bit of the idea of what it looks like here. It's pretty cool. See the water coming in and out. What do you think about this, Lizzie? You like this?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Would you rather be home working on your computer?
No.
Lizzie is chained to her computer most days. She's a graphic designer, and she has several clients and works for a company as well, and that keeps her busy, sitting at the computer a lot. So getting her away from the computer and out on her feet is a treat, and hopefully a good treat for her.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see the restaurants further down there. I think if we just keep walking,
I know.
we will be able to eat, should we want to eat. I don't know. Maybe Lizzie doesn't really want to eat. Oh, you're getting hungry now. Liz says she's getting hungry now. Yeah, well, we had a good breakfast. Our youngest daughter came over this morning and joined our oldest daughter and ourselves for waffles. Lizzie made us some awesome waffles, and I cooked up the bacon. And we had bacon and waffles with blueberries and whipped cream and Canadian maple syrup. It was pretty yummy. But that was many hours ago now, and I feel like we need protein. And all that bacon is making me thirsty too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a nice little walk. It'll be interesting to see how many miles this adds up to.
like the flat sand. It's easy to walk on.
Yes, this is true. Lizzie says she likes the flat sand because it's easy to walk on. So yeah, if you have old, damaged knees like I do, you'll understand how walking on flat, nicely groomed surfaces is better for your knees. And the ocean waves are grooming the sand here really nicely for me and making it nice and hard packed with just a little bit of cush to it because there's some water content in here. But yeah, it's so much better than walking over, rubbly rock surfaces and rocky trails. This is a little bit better. But yeah, this is great. So we'll have a choice of walking back on the sand to where we came down to get back to our car, or walking along the ridgeline trail up above the beach, which will be a lot more, it'll be walking with a lot more shrubbery, scrub, classic California native plants, which are kind of low scrubby plants with bushes and cacti. So we'll see what we're up to, or what we're up for, after we eat some of that yummy food. Don't know. We may be tuckered out from consuming mass quantities of yummy chicken or steak or whatever it is we end up having, fish. I think the key to the key to not getting tired on a hike is to avoid the adult beverages. The adult beverages are super fun when you're consuming them with your meal or without a meal. But then when you get up and you have to walk back a mile or two or 3 or 4 miles or however many miles it is back to your car, you're going to find it a lot harder. And you're going to be regretting those adult beverages. So at least that's the case for me. I'm a lightweight. I don't drink a lot. But everybody has their own tolerance for that, and they enjoy it a different way, maybe. But anyway, yeah, doing well. I am walking with my new hiking boots right here, which are made by Keen. Yes, Lizzie knows. She corrects me because sometimes I get confused as to what I've bought and what I'm wearing. But yes, these are Keen hiking boots. They're really nice. They have leather uppers as well as some kind of really nice mesh fabric and really great lacing system with a relatively aggressive but very comfortable Vibram sole. So they should be good for hiking in rocky terrain and gravelly terrain, dirt. And I wasn't planning on taking them here in the sand, because literally you could walk in your bare feet on the sand. I love these big rock formations that jut up out of the sand. You have a lot of them here at Crystal Cove. See if I can walk around this one without getting wet. I have to keep my eye on the wave action coming in. So maybe not hardcore hiking, but hey, we're still getting our steps in. Okay, we have reached the area of Crystal Cove State Park where we have this little enclave of cabins, little beach houses. You can see that the estate is rebuilding one there, a couple two-story cabins that looks like they're building them from scratch. But yeah, all this is owned by the state. The original cabins that you're going to see here as we get past these original cabins were all built by, originally were built by a man who was using them for his workers. And then the film industry of the 1920s and 30s kind of discovered this area, and they wanted to film down here, so they used to rent these cabins out. So once that started, then more cabins were built for film folk, actors, actresses, and crew. And a lot of them stayed in these cabins while they were in production. And now all of that has been taken over by the state, and it looks like they're doing a good job of maintaining these cabins by rebuilding a lot of them. And so you can rent out some of these cabins, which is pretty cool. You can see classic colors, white and blue, green on green, red and white. Classic cabin style of architecture, home building from back in the day that is trying to be preserved through rebuilding and reconstruction. And then down at the end of this area is this cute little, you couldn't even call it a town, it's just a little enclave really, where you've got more of these cabins, and there's a historical museum there, a history museum talking about it, and then a restaurant or two as well. Pretty neat. If you do want to rent one of these cabins, you need to go to the Crystal Cove State Park website and inquire there. It looks like we can go up onto this. I think I'm going to go up onto this little wooden walkway, and then you'll have to get on a waiting list to book your appointment or book your stay, and it will be, you'll have to book that months and months in advance. They call this area of the park the Crystal Cove State Park Iconic Historic District, and you can see they're rebuilding stuff there. And then here are some of the cute little cabins that they've built, and you can see there's a sign here, a little wooden sign that says registered guests only, do not enter please. So that shows you that these are not privately owned, they're owned by the state of California, and you can rent them. It's really a cool way to spend a little vacation by the sea, or a honeymoon, or an anniversary, something like that, where you'll get to stay by the sea and enjoy the crashing waves, the sound of the waves, each and every day and each and every night. What a great way to go to sleep to this sound. Looks like there's a little cafe up here even that I didn't notice before. Hi, what kind of food do you guys have up here?
It should be the same restaurant as the Beachcomber.
Okay.
So just like American food.
Okay, so it's the Beachcomber food, it's just out here. I gotcha. Okay.
It's an extension of the Beachcomber.
Yeah, so this is all an extension of the Beachcomber restaurant, which we've eaten at before. And if you want to check our other Crystal Cove video, you'll learn about that. There's always a line. I can see the line already for the Crystal Cove restaurant. It looks super busy. On a beautiful day like today, everybody wants to eat, and they want to eat here. So yeah, you got to get in line, put your name in. And here it is. This is Crystal Cove, and here is the restaurant itself. We're going to stand in line to put our name in. Yeah. So yeah, the restaurant here was a 1 hour and 30 minutes to 1 hour and 45-minute wait. And remember, this is the dead of winter. It is a warm day in the winter, but in the summer, it could be several hours to try to get a table here. You can see how busy it is. People love this area. They love this restaurant. It's really good. It's the Beachcomber restaurant, and they have a bar as well. You can see people over here on the left that are having adult beverages, probably waiting to get seated for dinner. It's called the Bootlegger Bar. They might have little snacks there, I don't know. We are now standing on the deck of the Cultural Center and the check-in cabins, which are here. Now that I'm standing here with the sun facing me, you can see a little better. We were in silhouette before, but you can see this is a big public deck, and some of the cabins have been used for the Cultural Center and for the check-in. And then down below you can see the beach, the ocean, and some of the construction that they're doing to rebuild or completely build new cabins in place of the old ones that have been beaten up by the waves and the weather. It's pretty cool. And way out there is Catalina. Give you a good view of it. You can see right there in the bottom of your frame, we've got the construction that's going on where they're rebuilding the old cabins. And then at the top of your frame there, you can just see the outline of Catalina Island, which is kind of shrouded in fog, but you can kind of see the peaks, the ridge line peeking up there. And then you got a state ranger down there on the beach in his pickup truck, and people just walking around. Here's the check-in office over here. So this is where you check in if you've rented one of these cabins. Well, folks, we have made it back. We have circumvented the trails here at Crystal Cove State Park, and we have made it back to our parking lot, which is just behind me. I think our total loop was maybe 3.5, 4 miles. I don't know. We're going to find out here when I check my phone and check the health app. But it has been beautiful, and now we are hungry, so we're going to go hunt for some food. Until next time, this has been Indiana Homes and Lizzie. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notifications button. Thank you very much.